Welcome to my channel Echoes of Coin. The 1977 1-cent coin of the United States stands as a significant continuation of the Lincoln cent series, a design that had already been in circulation for nearly 7 decades by the time this coin was minted. The Lincoln cent, first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, had become one of the most widely recognized coins in American history. By 1977, the Lincoln cent was not only a tool of commerce but also an object of cultural meaning, reflecting both the artistry of its design and the historical journey of American coinage. The obverse of the 1977 1-cent coin features the enduring portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design had been in use since 1909, making it the longest-running design in United States coinage history. Lincoln's profile faces to the right, his bust carefully detailed to highlight his facial structure, beard, and clothing. Above his head, the motto "In God We Trust" arcs across the upper rim of the coin, a phrase deeply embedded in American identity. To the left of Lincoln's portrait is the word "Liberty," and to the right, the date 1977 is clearly inscribed. Some coins also bear a small mint mark beneath the date, indicating the mint facility where the coin was produced. Philadelphia issues carried no mint mark, Denver coins were marked with a D, and coins minted in San Francisco for proof sets carried an S. On the reverse side of the 1977 cent is the famous Lincoln Memorial design created by Frank Gasparro, which had replaced the earlier wheat ear reverse in 1959. The Lincoln Memorial, a neoclassical monument in Washington, D.C., dedicated to the memory of the 16th president, appears with its detailed columns and steps. Within the design, if viewed under magnification, one can actually make out a tiny representation of the seated statue of Abraham Lincoln inside the memorial, a remarkable detail that underscores the precision of the engraving. Above the memorial is the inscription United States of America, while directly below it appears the Latin motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. The denomination 1 cent is boldly inscribed at the bottom, ensuring the coin's purpose in commerce is unmistakable. In terms of composition, the 1977 1-cent coin was struck in a bronze alloy consisting of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This alloy had been standard for the Lincoln cent since 1962, following earlier adjustments in the metal mix. The coin weighed 3.11 grams and measured 19 millimeters in diameter, with a plain edge. These specifications gave the cent its distinctive reddish-brown appearance, which would, over time, change due to oxidation and environmental exposure. Collectors often categorize 1977 cents by their condition and the tone of their color, ranging from brilliant red to red-brown to brown. The full red specimens, those that retained much of their original mint luster, are the most desirable among numismatists. The 1977 cent was produced in large numbers, as pennies were heavily used in everyday commerce during this period. The Philadelphia Mint struck hundreds of millions of coins without a mint mark, while the Denver Mint contributed an even larger share with its D mint mark cents. The San Francisco Mint, by 1977, was no longer producing circulation strikes but instead struck proof coins intended for collectors. These proof coins, with their mirrored fields and frosted designs, were packaged in official government-issued proof sets. The 1977 S-proof cents are particularly valued for their sharpness of strike and visual appeal, making them a separate category from the circulation strikes of Philadelphia and Denver. The mintage numbers alone show just how abundant the 1977 1-cent coin was. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 4.4 billion examples, while Denver struck more than 4.1 billion. The San Francisco Mint added over 3 million proofs. Combined, this total placed the 1977 cent among the most common coins of its era, ensuring that nearly every American in 1977 encountered these coins in daily transactions. While the high mintage figures make the 1977 cent common in general terms, there are nuances in condition, strike quality, and minting errors that give certain examples elevated value in the eyes of collectors. Mint errors are among the most fascinating aspects of the 1977 cent for numismatists. These mistakes, which occurred during the minting process, produced coins that deviated from the standard design in unique ways. Errors might include off-center strikes, double strikes, clipped planchets, or die cracks. Some coins display striking variations in which the lettering or date appears doubled, commonly referred to as a doubled die. While no major doubled die varieties are widely recognized for the 1977 cent, collectors remain vigilant in searching for such anomalies. Misaligned dies and weak strikes also appear in the population of 1977 cents, and while minor errors may only add small premiums, more dramatic mistakes can result in substantial value increases at auction. Another factor influencing the desirability of a 1977 cent is its grade. Coin grading is the standardized process of evaluating a coin's condition, typically on a scale from 1 to 70, known as the Sheldon scale. A grade of 1 denotes a coin that is barely recognizable, while a grade of 70 represents a flawless, perfectly struck coin with no imperfections visible under magnification. For the 1977 cent, most surviving examples grade between circulated conditions of very fine VF to extremely fine XF, as they were used extensively in everyday commerce. Uncirculated coins, particularly those grading MS65 or higher, are significantly scarcer and carry premium values. Proof coins are graded on a similar scale but may receive special designations such as Deep Cameo, DCAM. 4. Examples with strong contrast between mirrored fields and frosted devices. Beyond the technical details of design, composition, and minting, the 1977 1-cent coin reflects broader historical and economic contexts. The mid to late 1970s was a time of considerable inflation in the United States, meaning that the purchasing power of the penny was already beginning to erode. In the early 1970s, 1 cent could still buy small items such as pieces of candy or gumballs, but by 1977, the cent's role in purchasing power was declining. Nevertheless, the coin remained a vital part of daily transactions, serving as exact change in countless purchases and anchoring the decimal system of U.S. currency. The penny also held symbolic meaning beyond its monetary value. Featuring the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 1977 cent continued to reinforce the legacy of a president remembered for his leadership during the Civil War and his dedication to the principles of liberty and equality. The Lincoln cent was the first regular-issue U.S. coin to feature a president's portrait, breaking with the earlier tradition of using allegorical figures such as liberty. Its introduction in 1909 had been a landmark moment in American numismatics, and its continued use in 1977 demonstrated the lasting appeal of both the subject matter and Brenner's design. Collectors today often view the 1977 1-cent coin as a relatively accessible piece of numismatic history. Because so many were minted, acquiring examples is easy and inexpensive in circulated condition. However, the challenge lies in finding coins in pristine uncirculated condition, with full red luster and minimal contact marks. Such coins are far scarcer and can command prices far above their face value. Proof coins, especially those graded PR69 or PR70 with deep cameo contrast, are also highly sought after by specialists in modern proof issues. The legacy of the 1977 cent also connects to broader shifts in U.S. coinage. Just a few years later, in 1982, the composition of the cent would change drastically from its long-standing bronze alloy to a predominantly zinc core with a thin copper plating. This change was necessitated by rising copper prices, which had made the intrinsic metal value of the cent approach or even exceed its face value. The 1977 cent thus represents one of the final chapters of the traditional bronze cents, coins that had defined American pocket change for much of the 20th century. The 1977 1-cent coin, more commonly referred to as the 1977 Lincoln penny, remains one of the most familiar yet historically meaningful coins in United States numismatics. By the time it entered circulation, the Lincoln cent had already enjoyed nearly 7 decades of continuous production, making it a deeply established symbol in American currency. Though common in its original issue and struck in the billions, the 1977 penny has become a fascinating subject for collectors, historians, and coin enthusiasts who value it not merely for its face value but for its place within the greater story of American money and heritage. The design of the 1977 penny connects it to the long-standing tradition of the Lincoln cent. On the obverse, the portrait of Abraham Lincoln by Victor David Brenner remains unchanged from its first appearance in 1909. Brenner's work captures the depth of Lincoln's character, presenting him in a dignified profile facing right. The fine details of Lincoln's hair, beard, and clothing were carefully preserved even in mass production, demonstrating the skill of both the artist and the engravers who carried his design forward. Above Lincoln's head runs the motto, "In God We Trust," a phrase that by this time was universally present on U.S. coins and strongly tied to American identity. To Lincoln's left is the word liberty, symbolizing the fundamental value that guided the nation through its founding and its struggles. To the right of the portrait is the date, 1977, with a mint mark underneath when applicable. Coins struck in Philadelphia carried no mint mark, while those from Denver bore a D, and the proof issues from San Francisco carried an S. The reverse side of the 1977 cent features the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Frank Gasparro, then chief engraver of the U.S. Mint, created this design, which presents the neoclassical structure with great detail. Collectors and casual observers alike marvel at the precision with which the memorial's columns, steps, and central statue were reproduced at such a small scale. The legend United States of America crowns the upper rim of the coin, while the Latin motto E pluribus unum is displayed above the memorial itself. At the bottom is the denomination 1 cent, reminding every user of its role in commerce. The Lincoln Memorial design, like Brenner's obverse, endured for decades, serving as a staple of pocket change from 1959 until it was replaced in 2009 by the bicentennial Lincoln series. In terms of physical specifications, the 1977 cent was struck from the bronze alloy that had been standard for the series since 1962. This alloy consisted of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. Each coin weighed 3.11 grams and measured 19 millimeters in diameter with a plain edge. This composition gave the coin its characteristic reddish appearance when freshly struck, which over time would mellow into darker shades of brown due to oxidation. For collectors, the preservation of the original red color is critical, as coins with their original red luster intact are considered much scarcer and more valuable than those that have toned to red-brown or brown. The production numbers for the 1977 penny were enormous, reflecting the continued high demand for cents in circulation. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 4.4 billion pieces, while the Denver Mint contributed more than 4.1 billion. Together, these two facilities ensured that the 1977 cent was one of the most widely distributed coins in the country during its year of issue. The San Francisco Mint, by 1977, was no longer producing regular business strike coins, but it did strike over 3 million proof coins for inclusion in proof sets sold to collectors. These proof coins stand apart from circulation strikes because of their mirror-like fields, frosted design elements, and overall superior production quality. While common in absolute numbers, the proofs are still considerably scarcer than their circulation counterparts and hold higher collectible value. Although most 1977 pennies are extremely common and can still be found in change today, the true intrigue lies in quality, rarity of condition, and mint errors. The majority of these coins were heavily used in commerce, which means uncirculated examples are much less abundant than the raw mintage figures suggest. For collectors, the goal is often to acquire examples in the highest grades possible. Coins that remain in mint state condition with full original red luster and minimal marks can command strong premiums. Professional grading services such as PCGS and NGC have certified many 1977 cents, but those graded MS67 or higher are rare and sought after. Proof coins with the Deep Cameo, DCAM, designation, in grades PR69 or PR70, represent the pinnacle of quality for this date. Mint errors are another factor that elevates interest in the 1977 penny. While there are no universally recognized major double-die varieties for this year, collectors have identified various striking anomalies. Off-center strikes, in which part of the design is missing due to misalignment during striking, are among the most popular. Clipped planchets, where a portion of the metal blank is missing before striking, also appear in the population of 1977 cents. Die cracks, cuds, and other forms of die deterioration can be found as well, providing unique varieties for specialists. Even though these errors are relatively rare compared to the billions of normal coins, their presence enhances the appeal of searching through rolls and bags of 1977 cents. The context in which the 1977 penny circulated is equally important to its story. The late 1970s in America were marked by economic challenges, including high inflation and energy crises. The purchasing power of the cent was steadily declining. By 1977, 1 cent no longer had the practical buying strength it once possessed earlier in the century. Decades prior, a penny could buy small goods such as candy, gum, or even a newspaper in the 19th century. By the late 1970s, however, inflation had eroded that power, making the cent more of a necessity for providing exact change than a coin of real independent purchasing capacity. This shift in economic reality sparked discussions about the usefulness of continuing to produce the penny at all, conversations that have continued into the present day. Nevertheless, the Lincoln cent remained a powerful symbol. The choice to feature Lincoln's portrait back in 1909 had broken a long-standing tradition in American coinage of using allegorical figures rather than actual people. It marked a turning point in U.S. numismatic design, and its longevity is testament to both Lincoln's place in American history and the public's acceptance of his image on the nation's currency. The continued use of the Lincoln Memorial Reverse from 1959 through 2008 also reinforced the symbolic weight of Lincoln's legacy. In 1977, at a time when the United States was navigating political challenges, social change, and economic difficulties, the penny with Lincoln's image circulated as a daily reminder of unity and perseverance. Collectors who study the 1977 penny often do so not only to appreciate its design but also to understand its role in the broader transition of U.S. coinage. Just 5 years later, in 1982, the mint would alter the composition of the cent drastically, changing from the long-used bronze alloy to a copper-plated zinc planchet. This decision was prompted by the rising cost of copper, which threatened to make the intrinsic value of the coin exceed its face value. In retrospect, the 1977 cent belongs to the final era of traditional bronze cents. For this reason, many collectors who focus on Lincoln cents view the 1970s issues as significant milestones, with the 1977 penny being one of the last large-scale issues before the dramatic change. In terms of collector interest today, the 1977 penny falls into several categories. Circulated coins are exceedingly common and worth only face value, as billions remain in existence. Uncirculated examples, however, are where value begins to emerge. In lower mint state grades such as MS-60 to MS-63, the coins may sell for only modest premiums. Higher grades, especially MS-65 red and above, can command several dollars each, reflecting their scarcity relative to the massive mintage. Coins graded MS-67 red are especially desirable, as only a tiny percentage of the original mintage survives in such pristine condition. Proof coins, meanwhile, hold a separate collector base, with PR69 and PR70 deep cameo examples being the most sought after. The appeal of the 1977 penny also extends to those who appreciate coin roll hunting. Searching through rolls of pennies from banks or personal collections can yield attractive examples, particularly those with strong luster or unique errors. For many collectors, the thrill lies in finding a nearly perfect coin hidden among millions of ordinary pieces. The 1977 cent, being a high mintage issue from a relatively recent era, provides abundant opportunities for this type of collecting activity. Beyond the numismatic specifics, the 1977 penny embodies the cultural role of coins in American life. Coins are not merely instruments of trade. They are tangible artifacts of history, art, and national values. The fact that Lincoln's portrait has remained on the cent for over a century demonstrates the enduring respect for his leadership and ideals. For young collectors starting their journey, the 1977 penny is often one of the first coins encountered. Its ready availability makes it accessible, while its connection to deeper history makes it meaningful. For seasoned numismatists, the challenge lies in securing top-quality examples and studying varieties, thus transforming an ordinary coin into a specialized pursuit. The durability of the Lincoln cent's design is also a testament to its artistry. Victor David Brenner's obverse, though simple, captures Lincoln's strength and solemnity in a way that has transcended generations. Frank Gasparro's Lincoln Memorial Reverse may have faced criticism for its simplicity compared to the Wheat Ears Reverse, but it still holds importance as the design that represented Lincoln's legacy during a key era of American history. The 1977 penny, therefore, reflects the blending of two artistic visions, Brenner's early 20th century portrait and Gasparro's mid-20th century monument, into a unified symbol of Lincoln's place in national memory. As with all coins, the condition and preservation of the 1977 cent play a decisive role in its value. Collectors often divide coins into three categories: brown, red-brown, and full red, based on the extent of copper luster remaining. A full red coin with 95% or more of its original red luster intact is the most desirable. Red-brown coins, showing a mix of original red and toned brown areas, are more common. Fully brown coins, while still collectible, are generally the least valuable unless they carry an exceptional grade or error. The challenge of preserving copper coins against oxidation makes full red coins from 1977 particularly special to collectors. Looking at its broader place in American numismatics, the 1977 cent serves as a bridge between earlier and later phases of coinage. It stands at the threshold of the modern era, where coins were produced in massive quantities with highly automated processes, yet it still retains the traditional bronze composition that links it to earlier decades. In this way, it represents both continuity and change, a coin that looks back on nearly 70 years of Lincoln cents while foreshadowing the alterations to come in the 1980s.